Hey, what's going on everyone? It's Snoo back again, this time with a Crucible crafting based video. I've just arrived at a point where I'm ready to do a super high stakes Crucible slam. It's going to be really entertaining for any of you guys watching. Whether you are interested in how I'm about to craft this bow or interested in my build or anything, definitely going to be some high entertainment value for this video. A very nail-biting moment is coming your way. But I'm going to give you a little bit on the story here. So I had to educate myself on how to go about Crucible crafting. You know, we kind of hit the deadline on where I finally start engaging with the league mechanic. It's about 2 or 3 weeks into the league. So I'm behind the curve on a lot of you guys, but I did go out and try to find some resources. I think there was a video by the name by a creator named Von Victon, I believe it was. I'll link that video in the description below. It educated me quite a bit on the grid system and how to best go about trying to get a perfect Crucible tree, or near perfect, with at least 3 highly sought after nodes, 3, 4, maybe 5, and I to some extent employed that approach. However, it's been especially hard and expensive for me because it doesn't work very good when you're fracture craft based crafting or what have you. Go figure, you know, the super top end echelon crafters have it easy this time. With their synth bases, they can imprint both sides of the craft to get things nice and pretty. It's very easy, actually. In comparison, it's much easier for them to get like a perfect Crucible tree than it is for somebody who's trying to craft on a fracture base. And for that reason, to be honest with you guys, if I was not a content creator and if I didn't already have these sort of publicized plans about crafting this bow and have it all, you know, even in my build guide as an unused item, they're ready to go, I probably wouldn't even be doing this. I would just stick with Darkscorn until I have a mirror tier item. So let that be kind of a warning to you guys. I'm probably about 30 divines deep and maybe a good 3 or 4 hours of not farming on top of that to reach this point of a very high stakes farm. Now, there's a pretty good chance I'm going to end up in a very good spot here. So let me show you what I have here. This is, actually, let's first take a look here. You can see this is an 86 plus bow attacks, fire 2 additional arrows. It was about 40 divines to buy this base clean. I already got it hillocked up to 30%. Already just very quickly got the 6 sockets, 6 linked. I just paid through the bench for that. And I have right here the 3 absolute top end first rows of mods. I have a tier 5 physical damage, very expensive, hard to get. By the way, on a spine bow of any item level, just to hit this tier of this mod is essentially, if you want to buy this mod by itself, it costs at least half a divine, just to give you some sense of how expensive it is. This 7% increased attack speed, tier 3, and then 15% explicit physical and chaos damage modifier. Magnitude, super strong, and there's only 2 tiers of this. This is the better tier. And this combination of these 3 here basically doesn't even exist as far as a base to be crafted. It does exist in finished form, and if I had to estimate, just this bow right now has probably gone from 40 divines all the way up to about 70 or 80 divines in value, I would guess, just for this Crucible tree. This combination is extremely strong. Now, a lot of people who are crafting a spine-based bows want the percent increased attack speed, less global damage, I think might be better, but when I plug in for Poison Tornado Shot in my build, 7% comes out to at least just as good, and I'm not memeing when I say I'd rather be easier on the system and just do less attacks per second, honestly. Not joking, like that is my motivation here, to go ahead and just go with attack speed. Plus, perhaps it's a little bit cheaper anyway. Now, it took quite a while to get these 3 together because I was not able to imprint this bow. I had to do it the hard way. I had to keep spending and spending and spending, and it cost quite a bit just to get these 3. Just to get 3 with no imprints is quite expensive, but it is the path that I recommend for people. At least it's not super time consuming, and there's no imprinting costs involved, I guess. There's just a lot of buying the bases online, and you can search the Crucible mods specifically if you want. You can actually go in and search the Crucible mods. They're under an orange color, just like you could search Scourge related mods, you know, a full year ago. All right, so this is done now. It took me a while, and the really good thing about this setup here is I have a second bow that I worked from right to left, and I was able to imprint this one. So I, you know, believe it or not, I actually did many imprints on this bow, which will ultimately be destroyed. But because it will be destroyed, I can split it and essentially have double copy of them. So you see I have the exact same tree that I'm going to go for here. And these, in my opinion, are some of the definitely some of the best mods I can possibly get for Tornado Shot. I really don't know how good Tornado is. I think it's probably a bit of a meme. It's maybe not that good, but I want to see for itself. Definitely for the cool factor, it'll be nice if I can get Tornado on here. Increased projectile speed minus reduced projectile damage. This is especially good for Poison Tornado Shot because I don't really care about my projectile damage anyway. Plus, well, I mean, we also have the mastery where we increase projectile speed equals damage anyway. But you can see that it has a lower tier of physical chaos damage, actually in the exact same spot. It does have one tier lower of attack speed in the same spot. And it does have a flat fizz, but it's with bleeding, which is a little awkward. It's kind of cool, though. There is a potential cluster synergy here with like bleeding and poison. It's actually a really strong cluster. I think gives me a lot of poison duration if I take that. So I'm not terribly upset, but definitely these three here are nowhere near as good as these three here. But they are matched up in the same spot. And again, if I wasn't a content creator, if I wasn't going to, you know, make some entertaining content, I'd probably just stay with this. And this is what I recommend for you guys. You don't need to work with, you know, the right to left, left to right, combining them two, which is a good strategy if you can imprint both sides. Or at least imprint the final base that you're working with and, you know, revert back to what happened before. But with this, you know, I'm about to YOLO this thing like crazy. And I'm going to pray that it's going to keep these three and add these two. This is the goal here. Now, there's actually a decent chance of that. I don't know exactly what the chance is, but when you match up basically the same modifiers, the same row, and the same slot, and the same grid spot, very high chance it's going to come out. Probably a pretty good chance it's going to get its tier lowered. So there's a very real chance that I'm going to go from 15% down to 10%, and that's going to hurt, definitely. But we're going to do it anyway. We're going to see what happens. And yeah, this is not a guide per se, but I got to go in with a Primeval Remnant here to combine these two. It is important to be careful that you never use one like this. You see the top line says here, forged items are corrupted with an implicit. I accidentally corrupted my Darkscorn this way. I got very lucky here. At least it cannot brick the item, so long as there's not a Val corruption that does brick your item. In this case, there wouldn't be. It would be okay. And if I wanted to go for the ultimate YOLO move, I would craft it first and then slam it one final time to corrupt it with a guaranteed implicit. That's like That's crazy levels of YOLO, but probably not going to do that. We'll see. The cool thing is I actually have 2 attempts at this. If something goes really haywire here, I can slam it in a second time and we can do this again. I'm really hoping I don't have to. Because fact of the matter is, this base right here, this will sell. This will sell for a few divines. Absolutely sell for a few divines. Might have to be patient, wait for the right buyer, but I mean, it definitely helps be a content creator advertising a specific base to be very valuable, you know. But even aside that point, I couldn't find a base this good that had like even 4 out of 5 mods, let alone like all 5 be very good. So I know what I was paying for these bases. If I wanted a 2 or 3 combo, I was paying at least a divine just for a to be destroyed item. So let that be a warning to you. Let's get in here and we're gonna do this and make sure that's not the wrong one. Okay, so again, I'm gonna slam this one into this one. And I've went from imprinting the one to be destroyed to now splitting, and there's no imprinting left. This is it. I mean, this is bang or bust. This is 30 divines deep. A little bit of learning to be had. You know, probably might have not done exactly what I did before. I definitely got a little bit more efficient and better at it. But, you know, it started with working right to left and then trying to get the main base set up the way it should be. By the way, you can just skip all the monsters, go straight here. All right. I'm legit nervous. Feel my heart going up a little bit. There's a lot of time and a lot of currency to do this. So here we go. Gotta make sure the right item's in. Again, praying that I hit these 3 and I extend the tree down. Very important that there's this total empty space here, so at least it's no competition with the slam. It's kind of like how Sentinel worked, you know, with that whole mechanic. Here we go. Now you can just hit exit and go back in town. It's done. Oh my god. That looks right. Oh damn, hit the lower one. Hit the lower one. Ah, I hit the high one there. That's good. Hit good, good. Oh, wow. Oh, that's very nice. That's very nice. The only thing that's kind of really sad is that I lost the T5, and this is essentially like a tier 2 or tier 3, but it has the bleeding on hit, and I can do some funny stuff with clusters on combos with this. I can't remember the cluster mod. There was a chaos cluster mod that I think it said poison duration is increased by like 15 or 20% against bleeding enemies, something crazy like that. I can't remember the name of it, but here we go. I mean, this is done. I have no reason. It took both trees. That's good. You'll notice that for this tree, one thing I did that helped out to keep the tree clean a little bit is this is a low item level base, which is a double-edged sword, because it means nobody's going to buy this to craft on it. You might have thought, oh my god, this would be amazing to start crafting on this bow. Well, no, nobody's going to buy an item level 75 bow to start crafting on. I mean, you can't hit, you obviously can't hit +2 arrows on that. You can't hit hardly anything on that. Well, I mean, I guess they could. So this is basically a throwaway to be destroyed for, like, you know, a final attempt or what have you. But the nice thing about the lower tier base is that this tree, as I kept trying to combine it stayed relatively clean. It didn't like sparse off everywhere on the grid like item level 83. I noticed that in the beginning when I was trying to do this, my grids would just get way too convoluted, get complex, and just everything would fill out and there'd be no empty spaces. It actually created kind of a problem, which is why I was pretty lucky when I ended up with the whole bottom side open and that matched up so everything could line up, and I had a pretty good chance of extending this, getting at least 1, maybe 2. There was a very real chance of like one of these mutating out, or maybe tornado just not even appearing on this tree, but it all came out there. I would estimate I probably had about at least like a 30 to 40% chance maybe for this outcome to have taken place, basically, with any one of these tiers, you know, jumping up or going down even further potentially. I've had, like, this could have ended up as 5% attack speed on mutated, but dude, I'm super happy that that came out really well. Again, if I wasn't a content creator, I probably wouldn't have slammed those together because that's a lot of currency, a lot of time wasted. But now it's done and I can start crafting. I'm going to craft this live on Twitch, and I'm going to show you guys exactly in real time what it's like to craft this bow from start to finish for Poison Tornado Shot. And the tree is done. Man, I couldn't be happier about that. All right, so, and the nice thing is I still have this one that I'm never going to use, and I'm just going to sell it. So one of you rich people out there who is playing Poison Tornado Shot, you can just buy it off me, all right? Maybe get some of that money back. All right, so that's it. Definitely not going to be using this thing at all. So I just wanted to share with you what was going on. I'm sorry, this is not a guide. I don't really feel like making like a full-blown guide. You can check out Von Victor's video in the description below to get a better sense of the grid system. One last thing I probably should have mentioned is that when I started this, I worked right to left. Every single time I slammed these together, I made sure I had Tornado on the right, and then I was trying, you know, first I started with these two, and I think I started printing just with these two, and then I tried to get this one on here, and then basically I had this one with Tornado somewhere on the side, and then trying to put them all three together, and then I went for 4. I didn't actually go for 5. It's just kind of coincidental that I had a flat fizz over there, which was nice. But basically I was going for these 4. And then I was just going to slam it in anyway and just pray, you know, that it hit the tier 5 physical on there. But I got a little lucky there. Definitely lucky on the end. So, yep, streamer RNG, I don't know, I guess. I'm not really known for crafting, but it worked out for me this time. Definitely, it's definitely interesting. Going to be a lot of added power, and I look forward to actually seeing what this meme tornado in Tornado Shot looks like. So that's cool. I get to do that, even though it probably doesn't mean anything really for the build. I'm going to go for now. Going to get some dinner and come back, and we're going to stream me slamming this thing with a bunch of deafening essences of contempt and going from there. So I'll need a little bit more of that good RNGesus to finish this bow out. I think we can do it. I'll see you guys in the next video or on Twitch. Bye for now.